Good morning class, Sairam. In last class we have done our chapter till property of vector, that is commutative properties and addition of vector properties. All such properties we have already done in our previous class. Today we are going to start our topic with null vector. Okay, so understand what is a null vector actually. When we subtract two vectors which are equal, like vector A is given, and if we subtract vector A from itself, then resultant that we get is called null vector. Okay, so null vector is basically what? It has zero magnitude, as you can see here, and it is represented by 0, and it has no direction. Next property is that if you will add null vector to a particular vector, then you will get the same vector. For example, if you are adding null vector in vector A, then you will get the same vector A. Next thing is that if you multiply any given vector A by null vector, then your answer is again null vector. For example, if you multiply any vector A by null vector, then resultant will be a null vector only. Next property is that how to subtract two vectors. For example, if we are given two vectors like A and B, and vector A is this one, and vector B, suppose this is vector A and this is vector B, and we want to get A minus B, means we want to subtract vector B from A. Then how do we write it? We write it vector A plus minus of vector B. Now we know that how to write minus B. If vector B is given, suppose this is your vector B in this downward direction, then negative of B will have opposite direction but same magnitude. Now we have to add these two vectors, vector number 1 that is A and vector number 2 that is negative of B. So how we will add it? First of all, we will make vector A as it is. Then we will draw minus B vector, and this is your minus B vector, and we have to add these two vectors. So head of the first one and tail of the second one will be put together like this, and this will be your vector minus B. Then resultant will be represented by this line or by this arrow, that is joining tail of the first vector and head of the second vector. Here you can see in the diagram this was your first vector A and this was your second vector minus B, and this blue line represents their resultant, that is A minus B. Now we have one more method. If we want to add two vectors like vector A and vector B, then we will join their tail together at origin like this, and the A plus B vector, that is summation of first and second, will be given by diagonal of a parallelogram, and that parallelogram will be constructed like OPQS, and in this parallelogram these two vectors A and B will be adjacent side of parallelogram. Okay, and diagonal will represent their sum. Actually you will see that this vector B will be placed over here, like here you can see. Then tail of vector B and head of vector A both are together because opposite side of a parallelogram are equal. In that case, this resultant can also be obtained by law of triangle. Now with the help of this principle, we will try to solve this question. That rain is falling vertically with a speed 35 meter per second. Wind start blowing after some time at a speed of 12 meter per second in east to west direction. In which direction should a boy waiting at a bus stop hold his umbrella? So here you try to understand, we have 4 direction: east, west, north, south. Okay, rain is falling vertically, means this is the direction of rain, and this value, this VR vector is given by magnitude 35 meter per second. Then wind start blowing from east to west, means in this direction your wind blows. Then magnitude of wind velocity is 12 meter per second. Now we want to add these two vectors, first vector or first side of parallelogram and second vector, second side of parallelogram. Diagonal of the parallelogram will be this one. So its magnitude will be under root of VR square plus VW square, because here you can see that angle between both the vector is 90 degree. So we can calculate it by Pythagoras as well, and this will become 35 square plus 12 square, that is 37 meter per second. Then it is saying what will be the direction theta that R makes with vertical. Here you can see, if rain will appear to fall in this way, then the boy will hold his umbrella in this direction, just opposite to direction of rain. So this theta can be given by perpendicular upon base, and we know that this perpendicular is 12 and base is 35. So this will be our answer, 19 degree. Next thing we have, that is resolution of vectors. How to resolve any given vector. Here you can check that we have two vectors, small a and small b. So any given vector a can be expressed in the form of vector a small a and vector small b. Here it is given that we will multiply vector small a by a real number, and also we will multiply vector small b by another real number, and then in that case we can express any given vector capital A in terms of these small vectors, like vector A is multiplied by lambda and vector b is multiplied by mu, two real numbers. Then this arrow represents your lambda a vector, and this was original vector A. Again we have vector b, and that is multiplied by mu, and this is mu b. So by law of triangle we can say that head of vector lambda a and tail of vector mu b are joined together. Then resultant will be given by joining tail of vector lambda a and head of vector mu b. The third line will represent their summation. So these a and b are called non-collinear vector, and we have resolved vector a in terms of lambda a and mu b. Next topic is unit vector. So understand what is a unit vector. Actually any vector like 5 Newton, suppose vector A is 5 Newton in east. Okay, so any vector has some magnitude like 5 Newton and it has direction like east. Then it is called a complete vector if it has both the things. So any vector can be represented by two things. One is its magnitude, that is written in this way by taking mode of vector A and multiplied by a small unit vector n cap. This n cap is basically a unit vector which shows you direction. Okay, so whenever you multiply any magnitude by a direction, you get a complete vector. So from here, unit vector n cap can be given by a complete vector divided by its magnitude. So conventionally we have taken 3 unit vector. Unit vector along x direction is represented by I cap and unit vector along y direction is represented by j cap. Similarly, unit vector along z direction is represented by k cap. Property of unit vector we can say is that unit vector has magnitude of 1. I mean to say, if you will say what is the magnitude of unit vector I, then it will be 1. Similarly, magnitude of unit vector j is also 1 and k is also equal to 1. Here it is shown by diagram that x, y, z we have 3 axes. This I cap is unit vector along x axis, j cap is unit vector along y axis and k cap is along z axis. Now with the help of these unit vector, we can again learn a new method to resolve any vector in its component. Like here you can see vector A is given, okay, and its component along x axis and along y axis can be determined like A1 and A2. For that, if we know this angle theta, then we will say that horizontal projection along x axis will be A cos theta, and that will be magnitude of vector A along x axis multiplied by unit vector. Similarly, vertical component of A will be A sin theta, and that will be given by magnitude of A vector along y axis multiplied by unit vector j. With the help of these two equations, we can resolve any vector into its component. Also we can write that vector A, by law of triangle we can write that vector A is Ax I cap plus Ay j cap, or you can write it A cos theta I cap plus A sin theta j cap. Now if you want to calculate magnitude of vector A, then you will write formula coefficient of I square plus coefficient of j square, that is under root of A cos theta whole square plus A sin theta whole square. And you know, if you will solve it, you will get A square cos square theta plus A square sin square theta. That will become A only, because cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1. Similarly, a vector can be resolved in 3 dimensions as well. Like here we have our vector A and its horizontal component is Ax along x-axis, its vertical component along y-axis is Ay, and its component along z-axis is Az. So we can express any vector in these 3 terms, that is Axi plus Ayj plus Azk. To get these component, we need these particular angles like alpha, beta, etc. Then only we can take their components. Like here you can see that x component is given by A cos alpha, because alpha is the angle that is made by the vector with positive x-axis. So we can write x component is A cos alpha. Similarly, y component we can write A cos beta and z component is A cos gamma. And magnitude of vector A is given by equation 4.16, that is under root of Ax square plus Ay square plus Az square. So this is the way how we represent any vector in 3 dimensions. Like here you can understand, if we have a cube and its sides are given or you can say a cuboid whose sides are given like 3 and this height is 4, and suppose this along z direction we have dimension 5, then you can calculate vector AB, or I can say that you can calculate body diagonal AB. Body diagonal will be given by L square plus B square plus H square. That will be the magnitude of the vector AB also, like 3 square 9 plus 4 square 16 plus 5 square 25, and it will become 2 times of 25 or 50 you can say, so it will be 5 root 2. So vector AB can also be given by 3i plus 4j and plus 5k. So this is the way to represent any vector, and we know that its magnitude is given by following formula: coefficient of I square plus coefficient of j square plus coefficient of k square. From this formula also you will get the same thing, that is under root of 3 square plus 4 square plus 5 square, and that will come out 5 root 2. Okay, this is all for today. We have done resolution of vector. In next class we will try to understand how to add two vector with the help of parallelogram. Okay, thank you. Sai Ram.